Justin Ellis here with complegends.com, and this is week 2 of TFX. We've already went over 22.4, so if you haven't checked that one out, go to the channel and get all your tips and strategies for 22.4. This is 22.5, 10-minute AMRAP, and we're going to dive right into it. What's that workout description look like? Here we go. 10-minute AMRAP, 4 muscle-ups, bar muscle-ups, I should say, 8 pistols, alternating the reps there, and 12 kettlebell swings, American style, all the way overhead. Just a couple things, just looking at the workout. I mean, here's a good CrossFit workout. We got another lift in the first workout of this week. And now we get to just some pure CrossFit, and I like it. So we're going to go straight into the top 3 obvious overreactions. And so obviously, pace may be king. Okay, this is the first obvious overreaction. Pace may be king. Now, 10 minutes tells me that it is not exactly one of two things. It's not exactly a long workout. It's not exactly a short workout. And so a lot of times, and we're going to get into what is called a sprint pace in 22.6 for sure, but this one is not that. This is everyone's working for 10 minutes. You can't finish faster, and if you do, you're not finishing at the top. And you can't change that time domain. What you have to change is your volume of work over that 10 minutes. And so diving into it just a little bit deeper on that pace, you got to be able to just keep getting rounds. And if you do something to change that pace or alter that pace and you have to stop or start stopping, then we may have some issues. A little vague, but consider pace. Quick to draw of the pistol. And that's just a little play on words, but this is obvious overreaction. Number 2, quick draw of the pistol. 8 pistols alternating here, and it's not a lot of volume for this either. We've seen workouts that you can see 20, 30, 40 of those easily. You may not come back around to it, or maybe one other time. And this is telling me that we need a lot of rounds. I mean, they want to make it a workout too, right? I think at the end of the day, when you program any CrossFit workout, you have a vision and you have an amount of reps that you think are possible. And so, with that being said, 8 means I've got to be able to get right off the bar. And this, think about intermediate, just 8 chest to bar instead of the 4 muscle ups. Either way, though, I think that's low volume either way. Hell, in some ways, I'm better at the muscle ups, the 4 muscle ups, and I'll probably be at the 8 chest to bars. But that means I got to come off that bar and I got to go right to those 8 pistols. Now, if we're going to take the obvious reaction number 1 into consideration, which is pace may be king here, it's not like I'm trying to sprint these squats. Now, if you're trying to go for a top score, I guarantee you people will be sprinting these pistols, and be careful with that because of some no reps potentially. You got to get fully extended as well. So ultimately what I'm saying here is that is the skill part of this, really the whole week 2, right? The pistol is maybe the one movement that most people don't practice as much. I think people hit the sexy movements of the barbell and the Olympic lifting. Of course, everybody wants a muscle up, but I don't know if a lot of people are like dying to get their first pistols. And then it comes up in a competition like this. Warm up for it. Even if you've done them some before, warm up those knees and hips for this, and don't have to be extremely fast here. Again, this is going to tie in. So obvious overreaction number 3, low reps, high volume. Sounds kind of contradictive a little bit, but of course each round is low reps. It's low reps, but with the 10 minutes in that moderate zone, this is going to end up being high volume. We'll get to the predictions here soon, but my prediction is that you're going to go through this many of times, and the volume is going to get up there. And so be prepared. I like the fact that it's low reps, and you're going to get to build into that volume, because when something starts to feel like it's going, and this is probably a pretty good tip here, but when something starts to feel like it's about to burn out, you're about to turn the corner. You're about to go to a different movement, and you'll have some time for that recovery. So like muscle ups, maybe you've been breaking it up 2 and 2, or maybe you've been going 4s, and all of a sudden you're not sure about that 4th rep, or you barely got it. Don't panic. Now you get to go to pistols. Now you get to go to kettlebell swings. And I know there's some factors in those kettlebell swings with the muscle ups, but they're not muscle ups. And that always gives me a chance to kind of recollect and think about what I'm doing. All right, moving on to segment 2 here. Predictions for this one. Like I said, low reps per round, high volume at the end of the day. And I think scores are going to get past 10 rounds. I think somebody's going to be able to put up a minute a round. This is going to be their jam. And some people can move through pistols really fast. Of course, they're going to go unbroken on the 4 low volume or low reps of muscle ups there. And I think the tricky thing for some of these competitive athletes are going to be the kettlebell swings. They're going to get your heart rate up a little more than you probably anticipated. And we probably don't train those in a whole lot of competitive metcons, but that's still an unbroken movement. I think 10 plus 4, maybe it's going to be around there. It's going to be up there. 10 plus 4 is my over-under mark. Let me know what you think over-under. And I think even to get to top 10, you're going to have to do over 9 rounds. I think 9 plus 12 is my prediction to be in the top 10 on either side. There's not really a benefit from male to female here. Yeah, no, I think the scores apply across the board universally there. That's my predictions for this week. Man, it's going to be tough. It's always kind of tough because there's never really the same workout, but let's see how that goes. Looking at it, deep diving into this one for the finale of this episode. And we're going to kind of talk about intermediate and intermediate and RX or elite. Talking about the muscle ups first. No, we'll put these together. Muscle ups and chest to bars. Look, if this is one of those workouts that, man, I got to get through this. I'm not the gymnast. I can lift pretty well. I've got some of the skill set. Of course, I can do chest to bars. I can do muscle ups. Don't be afraid to say like a single attack. Now on the muscle ups, I think that makes a little more sense because the volume of reps there is so low at 4. But I'm not even saying that's wrong necessarily for the chest to bar folks in the intermediate side. A lot of people want to go to that full 8. Okay, they get 2 rounds in or 3 rounds in. The kettlebells start to play with it a little bit. Now you drop to 5-3. You start splitting the sets, and the heart rate's up. I mean, if you are butterflying or moving through those chest to bars pretty quickly, the heart rate's going to come up. Now, you're also moving through the rounds pretty quick, so the taxation from kettlebell to the pulling movement is a little bit more significant than, say, somebody going a little bit slower or pacing the workout. And then those rests in between the 4 and 4 or 5 and 3, all of a sudden you think it's 4 or 5 seconds, and now it's 9 seconds or it's 10 seconds. And it doesn't sound real significant, but through a 10-minute AMRAP in every round that you do, and if we're saying the top scores could be up 9 plus rounds, for 8 rounds, or we'll even say down to 6, maybe you make it through the first 2. I mean, that's 25 to 30 seconds worth of work that might have just disappeared. And I can tell you right now, if you go butterfly 8 chest to bar pull-ups, and if you single 8 chest to bar pull-ups, of course, yes, the 8 butterfly is going to be faster. But it's by a couple reps. I mean, if you can get up and down on singles, it's not usually a significant, not a huge difference. And then we got to talk about the consistency. Does that match later on? So, look, if you're not a strong gymnastics athlete and you know you're going to have to potentially get to some singles at some point, whether it be bar muscle ups or chest to bar, you may consider starting there and grinding through it. But you can't walk away, and you can't really rest. When you come down, it's time to get back up. Pistols. This is kind of the oddball movement of the workout. It's the skill that we probably don't practice as much, but you're really going to rest from everything else there. if you're good at pistols, this is not, I mean, there's nothing to save for there. The legs, I'm gonna tell you a secret for the kettlebell swings here in a minute too. They're just not gonna factor. It's not gonna factor on the muscles. It's not gonna factor on the chest to bar, and it's really not gonna factor on kettlebell swings. So, you know, I think for the most part on these pistols, you're gonna be able to stay pretty quick and still manage a pretty low heart rate. I mean, it's squatting. Now, if you struggle with pistols, that's a whole different ball game, and take your time there, and you may have to push yourself on the gymnast or the pulling movements, either muscle ups or chest to bars, and you're definitely going to have to move through those kettlebell swings as quickly as possible. I don't think you're going to make much of a gain there because everybody's going to be pretty much doing the same thing. And then talking about the kettlebell swings, I think this is a good tip for those that are striving for some high numbers. Use those legs and the glutes. And this isn't really a coaching tip, but I'm going to sling that kettlebell more than I would on a normal training day. Competition kind of can produce something a little bit different. And so my chest is going to fall down. And I hate even saying it, being a CrossFit coach for so long, but at either weight, 53-35, or you're even lighter on the intermediate scale, 44-26, I'm going to have basically a flat back, almost a deadlift position there, and I'm going to use my glute to back to get that thing over, and I'm really saving the shoulders for either those muscles coming around the corner or those chest work. So not a tip I would use in my general fitness classes by any means. And what I'm really saying is I really want to use those glutes to finish the rep and do most of the work. Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Real quick, I didn't do this in the last episode. I actually want to look and see kind of where we stand right now in the leaderboards as far as what's going on. So this men's pro, we're talking about 22.5. Got to do some math here, but it's 4, and then we've got the 8. That's 12. It's 24 reps per round. So look at that. Look at that. There's a 10 plus 2 at second. This is the first time I'm looking at it. This is completely, I'm telling you, blind reaction. And my looks like my prediction's already knocked out. I said 10 plus 4. If I'm done my math right, 252 reps at 24 reps a round. Like I said, this is completely blind reaction to this. Yeah, that is 10 rounds in 12 reps, 10 and a half rounds. So my prediction already has been knocked out of the park. And this on the men's pro. That's crazy. 10 rounds. Just an update there. Francis, man, gosh, I can't say none of these names. I apologize. I want to say Bueno, but I'm pretty certain that's not right. Bueno, from CrossFit AMRAP. And then on the women's side, real quick on 22.5. Women just don't put in their scores like the men do. That was last week too. 196. It's a good question. Obviously 10's 240. Let's do it right here. Divided by that 24. That's a little over 8 rounds. So I didn't do it the way I needed to, but it's over 8 rounds. That's good. That's a good score. 196 there. That is a really good score. Even looking at the men's, it dropped fairly quickly after that. That's Michelle Cavaletto from CrossFit Oceano. Men's intermediate. So this is the chest bar. This is a little bit different number here, right? So you've got the 8, and the 12. So we're looking at 28 reps per round. So if we're still talking about 10 plus 4, 259 divided by that 28. So we're not quite there on the intermediate side. And more volume, whether it's harder or easier, I mean, that does factor, but at this level, typically at the top level, more volume is going to take more time. So we're looking at 9.25 right there. So 9 plus 7 reps so far by Joshua Corso, Derive Athletics, on the men's intermediate. And then diving quickly over to the women's. Now we got some women's scores over here. That's what I like to see. And it looks like it right over 9 rounds for Keaton Frick on the women's intermediate scale. Unfortunately, it looks like, oh no, that's 22.4. So she got some scores in 21st on that first one. That's pretty good. All right. So that was a quick look at your leaderboard. And that is going to do it for this week, guys. As always, you can check us out at on the YouTube channel there. At check out Comp Legends. You see we've got the different workouts that we go over each week. Even our weekly workouts, of course, they're up there at complegends.com. So check us out on the web. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out anywhere you want, and follow along, guys. Let us know how you did. Let us know what you think. Maybe your predictions. We still got days to go on this one, so still gonna probably change a lot up until then. So until then, let's all be legends.